Question mark?
F2, you
Yes,
guys,
we
yeah?
got it. Okay, so when you are generally engaging,
It's not working for me.
the idea is to fake out your opponent into making the first turn and then follow their turn. So you want to like let them approach you. You're approaching on my side, so I go full stall, loop to the left because that's the way you started to rotate, and then you start rotating. And then what you want to do is you want to click where their ASF will be in about 2 seconds game time, because it takes time for ASF to turn. And this time I did it kind of badly, but I think I'm still gonna win this.
You
So like,
way more than I do.
I swung that wider than the last one. Tao looks like he's just straight circling.
Yep.
So then I can disengage and then come back in, and that was a really poor execution. So maybe don't listen so much to that.
Try one more
But,
turn.
yeah, sure. This time do 300.
Okay.
All
sure, which way-
F2, air
oh.
superiority
So,
fighter.
just a warning ahead. You're doing 300 and I'm in the game.
It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. There's no other unit, so it'll be okay. Wait. I did it. Why did it not spawn?
You still have to click.
300.
Coming for you, Tao.
There we go. So, when you see people microwing with multiple groups, one of the things that you can do, and again, I think that Tao was... This is why I think Tao is underestimating what he's doing, because I think he is actually clicking correctly.
I'm
What you can do is fly in and then break 2 groups. And then after the first turn is almost complete, you can pull both of the groups together. And so see what that did is it got a good 3/4 of my air behind you in the turn. And then I'm pulling in, just trying to focus on where you're headed in the next few seconds. So since he's rotating this way, I'm trying to keep my ASF ahead of his in the turn, because the ASF are going to lag behind your turn speed. And then now he's starting to scatter some. We've got to go back up to the north. And then back down. I'm actually going to split in 2 here. That one's going to tight circle. That one's going to wide circle. And that gets half of our group behind his, which then leads to... Yep, there we go. So that's the position you want to be in. I finally got him settled where he was locked in about 1/3 of a turn ahead of me, which means that my ASF can shoot his ASF, but his ASF can't shoot my ASF. And that's exactly where you want to be. And then you can do all kinds of things trying to fake that out. So you can send in like a tiny handful of ASF to try to trigger their turn. You can actually spam stop order, which will clump your ASF over the original spot where you pressed stop in a tight loop, which can force them into a tighter turn when you have a large group of them than move clicking. So there's a lot of things that you can do to like intentionally manipulate how your ASF are handling.
Okay, Brink, I put in 300.
You want to do
side.
300? Okay.
Yeah. So what was it again? You want to
300.
you want to get them to turn first.
The entire goal is to force your opponent into a position where they're making the first turn and you anticipate the direction that they're making their first turn. And you want to have your ASF in as close of a group as possible. So that's why you'll often see people like this far apart just swarming their ASF. Because they're trying to, there we go. So you engaged. So then I would go just in front of your ASF and then pull downwards because you had looped away.
We're allied.
Oh, well, I mean, principle is still the same.
Plasma, just go into my perspective.
Oh dear. Yeah, so in that one, I probably would have won with more than 50% of my ASF left. Is that air Triax's air, or is that Plasma's air?
That's Triaxis.
That's Triax's. All right.
Here.
Okay. No, we're not practicing for Attorney. We are
Plasma is playing as me, as purple.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
finish.
that's why you see the cheating parts.
Trax, you had 300, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just so you know, 2 wide split groups is generally not a good idea.
I know.
Okay.
I only know it works against the ASF like that.
And then, yeah.
Storm, is that 300?
So the wide sweeping turns are generally not helpful unless you're already behind.
Yeah.
And if you're not confident in air micro, honestly, attack moving into the enemy air clump is not a terrible idea after you make first contact.
That actually works better with the
Yeah.
cyber stuff.
Maybe that's
So that's 160 out of 300 left. Alright, Plasma, let me spawn a fresh cloud. This is just,
interesting, so I can see Plasma's move orders.
yeah, people ask all the time about ASF micro, and this is just an easy way to, like, once and for all. Why did it not spawn? Hold on.
You need to make sure you select
Storm,
it in the actual
can you
menu
take your
now.
ASF out of the area, please?
300, create, spawn.
What? Say again?
Alright, we're good. Okay, so Storm is not the one I'm engaging with, it's Roey's cloud.
No, purple.
Okay. Oof. Alright.
Press create, nothing is happening.
And then the other thing you can
Like, you
do
have to
is
take
if you
on that
shift
after that.
G, you can force them all to, like, dive a clump right there. And that was actually completely perfect, yes. So what happened there is Plasma bit after I had already started to rotate back around on my turn. Should have either not dived or dived a few seconds earlier. And that's the entire... If you're versus someone who kind of knows how to air micro but is not very good at it, it can actually be significantly worse than someone just patrolling their ASF. Because if they
now
make
you're
the...
just behind me all the time.
Yep.
Plasma,
If you...
what you're doing is you're
Yeah.
placing your move order 2 seconds too late to what
Yep.
Brook is turning.
That's what I was going to say, is Plasma is correctly anticipating where I'm going and placing the right move order about a second too late. So literally everything that you did in that fight was what you should have done, but you have to anticipate that there's a half a second lag before your move order executes, and that the direction...
Yeah, with airfights, I just can't see that far ahead. And
If you see that you're
this way,
behind
I have
them,
literally lost airfights where I have double the air numbers.
if you can see that you're behind, just press the stop move because it pretty much slams on the brakes
Yeah.
and they will overturn the enemy. So you will be almost in position to shoot again.
Yeah, but that's what trips up most
How many do you
people
have left
when
then?
they're trying to do air, is that because of the way that the air units handle, where you see the ASF rotating, because it's a unit that has inertia and basically like slides sideways in the air as it's banking through a turn, where you see it and where you see it curving to, the other person has a move order a couple of seconds ahead of where you think it is. It's not like a land unit or a much more stationary unit. Where you see it at the moment is indicative, if you follow the curve of the trajectory, of where it will be in a couple of seconds. And you want to be moving your ASF slightly in front of where you think their ASF will be in about 1.5 to 2 seconds game time. So that gives you a half a second for the internal engine lag because your move orders register on the next simulation tick. And then it also anticipates the fact that their units are essentially sliding towards a moving waypoint and so are already carrying through. It's not like they're gonna move to a place and stop. They're gonna keep sliding past and keep going on that trajectory. And then, yeah, late game, you can just attack move once you hit, like, astronomically high ASF numbers. I think 300 is about the cap on where it's useful to micro all of your ASF at once.
In that last game, I was at 300 ASF.
Yeah. And then
But I have
above that,
ASF.
what I usually do is I attack move in, and I let them just kind of fight it out. And then if I see an advantageous turn to take, I will take control of my ASF and reclump them and like bring them into the close quarters fight after everything is dispersed, which can be really effective. But if you have like 500 ASF, microing it in a clump in the middle of another cloud of 500 ASF that's just flying around in pure chaos, it's not effective. Not effective. That is going to wrap everything up for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like and share it with someone. If you want to support the channel, catch the streams, or join the Discord, check out the links in the description. Thank you all for being at least partially insane, and I will see you in the next one.